Aha. I think we finally had some success. Sorry about this. It's pesky software. The pesky software decided to update itself at 5 to 8 and then decided it didn't want to work, and I've literally only just got it back on now, so fingers crossed it's working as designed and we should be okay. Let's take a look. Yes, it looks like we're live, which is a case of better late than never, I think. Right, I'll just let everybody know. Right, good evening everybody. It's Wednesday night. I'd like to say it's 8 o'clock, but it's taken me literally half an hour, 20 minutes or so to sort this software issue out and get everything working right. So hopefully now we're all right. So welcome to another Wednesday night live stream. Fingers crossed everything's okay this time. It's all looking good. Someone say hello and we'll crack on and see what everybody's been up to this week. Myself, I've not been fishing again, which won't come as a surprise to most of you. It's been 3 weeks since I was last out. It'll be 4 by the time this Saturday comes around. Like, I'll try and get out this Saturday if I can, but there's too much work to do around the house and things like that. The bloody house has fallen to bits, so I've done a lot about the place, you know, sorting little odd jobs out and stuff like that. It's better they're done now than in April or May, when it's warming up and the fish are starting to get more active. At the moment, like December, it's probably the worst time of year for fishing. Like, it's certainly the slowest month of the year, so I don't feel like I'm missing out by not going. Probably the only thing I am missing out on is making videos, because I've got a couple in the pipeline and I just can't seem to get out to make them. One of them involves going to Wales, but Wales was in lockdown, and I don't know whether I'm coming or going half the time, like. So no fishing for me at the moment. Right, who's here anyway? I can see I can only see 2 watching, to be honest. Is one of them you, Andy? Because I know you sent me a text saying, "Where are you?" or words to that effect. And yeah, I'll just get rid of that. Yeah, I had a bit of a mishap with this streaming software. It's called OBS, and I'll be honest, it's not the best. Yeah, I can see all the notifications going out now. I've just got one myself to say that it's live. Evening, Andy. Yeah, problems, mate. Just I fired up the OBS at 5 to 8 to start the live stream, like, and it decided to update itself. Then it stopped and hung, and it was just hanging there, like. So I cancelled the update, and for some unknown reason, I must have been halfway through it, lost the camera, and I couldn't get the feed from the camera. So eventually I updated the software, did the update again, and then rebooted the PC and plugged everything back in again, and it's working. But for a while there, it did not want to know, and I was sitting there looking through all the settings in this OBS to think, you know, why can't I see the camera? And I fiddled about with the plugs because it's plugged in via the USB video capture card, and eventually, like, it came on. I actually think I had the wrong plug plugged in. But there we go, I'll say no more about that. How are you doing, Andy, anyway? You alright, mate? Interesting session that on Saturday, I think. Watching those rolling fish and stuff like that. It's nice when you're on your own on there and you can chase them around and move when they move, or move to where they are. I know you dropped your run, like, but you know, at least you got the run in the first place. Like, it's a bit of a chess match, getting on them, getting them to come over your baits and pick your bait up as well, and actually get a hook in. Because you had what I've been having for the last few months, like, either you get a knock on the rod and a bow wave off the bait, or you get a run slow and steady and you hit fresh air and there's nothing there, or you bump it off. They're really, really nervous, and I think the more the water clears, you end up with clear water in winter, and the more visibility they've got, the more paranoid they're going to get. But yeah, like you said, mate, it's an enjoyable day, isn't it? Complete lockdown again from the 28th, is that right? Okay, so if I go fishing on Boxing Day and the 27th, 26th and 27th, I'll be okay going into Wales, is that right? Because if it is, I will shoot a video on those days. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll soon find. I'll double check a bit nearer the time, Andy, to see if I can go into Wales. Like, but I will film a video on those days, 26th, 27th. Obviously, if you're in lockdown, 28th is fine. Like, I think I'm back in work. I think I'm back in work on the 30th. But I've got a few days after Christmas, like between Christmas and New Year. I've got to work 2 days. So I think I'm off Christmas Eve, finish Christmas Eve. I work the 30th and the 31st, and then it's another long weekend, and it's till till Monday the 4th. So I've got like 4 or 5 days off, and then 3 days off after a couple of days in. So I've got plenty of time there to get a video in the can if I can. And I've got 2, depending on what I'm going to do. Like, one will be a carp video, one's a lure fishing video, and I can do either, but it very much depends on being able to get into Wales for the carp one. It needs to be filmed on you know where. So we'll see how that goes anyway. It's a week or 2 away, isn't it? What are we on today? 16th today. Crikey, it's Christmas Eve, a week tomorrow. Week on Thursday, isn't it? Christmas Eve. That's crept up. That's crept up really quick, actually. Work's been a bit of a blur for me though over the last month or so, like a bit manic at the moment. It's under a bit of pressure. Nice, Ian. 3 nights from the 26th, 27th, 28th. Lovely. Yeah, sorry I was late, mate. Software problems. That's a decent enough session, isn't it, Ian? You should be able to get somewhere near the fish after that. Evening, Gary B. Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Just bit of a headache with the software this evening. Yeah, I'm fed up of it, of lockdowns as well. Like, Andy, it's just getting sick of it now. But at the end of the day, like, it will save people's lives in the long run. I don't think it's going to get much better even after people are vaccinated. You know, the vaccine will boost your immunity to it so that you're able to fight it better yourself, but it's not going to stop you getting it. And I don't know whether people realise that, like, it's not going to stop you getting it. Hopefully, like, it'll mean more people survive it, but it'll if they get the vaccine out, like, and everybody goes back to normal, it'll rip through everybody. We're all going to get it at some point. And I think, I don't know whether that's the long-term plan or what. Get the vaccine out there and then let everybody catch it. I don't know. But it's not something we're going to get rid of easily, is it? It's going to keep coming back and coming back. I think we might have to be vaccinated every year. How long does the vaccine last? Does anyone even know? Don't know. But I can't see me going back to work anytime soon. Like, I think I'll still be working from home for the next... I thought I'd be out for a year. So last March, when we went into lockdown and I started working from home, I thought it would be a year before I went back to the office again. So that'll be next March. I may actually be home longer than that. I may be home permanently for all I know. You know, I can do my job quite happily from here, just sitting in the office in the house. Don't need to go to work to do it. What's going to happen? Don't know. Back in 10. Okay, mate. I'll speak to you shortly. So, Ian and Gary, have either of you been out? Or are you doing the same as me and catching up with odd jobs? Because I've still not been out. I'll be honest. It's been 3 weeks now, and I'll go on Saturday if I can, providing I haven't got anything else to do. Last Saturday I went to try and get a bathroom ordered for the house. I wanted to go see a bathroom designer and get something on paper. I've actually done... Oh no, what have I done with it? All the dimensions for the bathroom on a little post-it. Have been out and measured it, you know, width, length, height, so that you can work out roughly what it can fit in it and what tiles I can get on the wall and stuff like that. And I've got everything down here, like where the radiator is, what size the radiator in there is, and the windows. Measured everything. And I went to the bathroom place on Saturday at dinner time. Bloody closed. That's got to be because of COVID. Because most places you'd expect somewhere like a company that sells bathrooms to be open on Saturday, and it was shut. So I work till 5 o'clock every day, so I can't get there until I'm off, basically. So no bathroom for the time being. You're busy at work, no fishing. Yeah, I know what you mean, Gary. I'm chocker at the moment, like, especially with all this COVID vaccine stuff going on. I've been up the wall the last week. Last week's been an absolute nightmare. Ian, all my family are in Conwy. Landudno. Not sure when you'll see them. Well, Andy's in North Wales, Ian, and as you can see, he's just said there Wales will go into lockdown from the 28th. I think they are having that 5-day amnesty, aren't they, when you can travel. So if you wanted to go there over Christmas, I think you can. But, you know, it's up to you whether you're prepared to risk that. Risk catching something and risk passing something on, because you don't know if you've got it, do you? So for a while, up to 14 days or something like that before it can show itself, but you can still be passing it on in that time. It's up to you whether you go, mate, but I think if you wanted to, you could. Roll on spring, yeah. You're not wrong there, mate. I'm fed up with the dark nights already. There is one good thing, and that is we're at the 16th of December already, and in 5 days, winter solstice, and the days will start getting longer again. It's the 21st of December, isn't it? The shortest day. So it'll be on the way back up again. And after another 5 days, it's the 16th today, isn't it? So once we get around to the 22nd, then yeah, it's on the way back up. Nights are getting longer. Leroy. Yeah, evening, mate. Be careful with them fishing laws, mate. It is addictive. You look at them and you buy them and you end up, with the same laws, but you're having them in 5 different colours, like I've done. I've got tons of laws, and I've actually said this year, stop, I'm not going to buy any more, and I've not ordered any at all this year. I've not bought a single law at all. I just made the decision. I thought, you've got enough already. You've got laws that catch fish. You do not need any more. Do not buy any until the stuff you've got has run down a little bit, and you've lost some, and you've got rid of some, or whatever. Give some away. Traded some. So yeah, I've got boxes and boxes of them, mate. And to be honest, you'd never use them all on a session. And I try to cut my gear down when I go lure fishing, so you're not carrying loads of stuff around with you. And I find I tend to limit myself to 5. And out of that 5, I'm lucky if I use 2 of them. So I'll pick one for the session. I might change to another one halfway through, but apart from that, I'll just use the one lure for that particular session. And I try to limit myself to taking 5 with me. And I might fish them in rotation, or I might use the same one every week if it's catching me fish. So there's loads of stuff that just doesn't get used. And I look at the boxes I've got, and I think, oh my God, I've gone too far. And you'll end up doing the same, mate. It is literally, you'll just end up buying everything, but you can only use them one at a time. And you'll get one in one colour, and then you think, oh yeah, I need that, but I need it in red or pink or white or whatever, and you'll end up buying it again. And yeah, you just end up spending a fortune, mate, like I've done. But yeah, it is quite addictive. And that's another thing as well. You don't have to use a lure. You can use a spinner or a plug, and you end up buying them as well. So you end up with all sorts. But it is good fun. I've still not been out with the lure rod this year yet. I've been meaning to film a video on it, but I just haven't got round to it yet. But I will eventually. It should have been in the bag and out by now and published on my channel. But I've had 3 weeks off instead. Every time I wanted to go, it rained. If you're filming a video, you've got to have a day where it's not very windy, because all you hear is go as the wind goes through the mic, and you can't film outside unless it's reasonably still, and it's dry, obviously, for your camera. So I've had a couple of Saturdays where it was stormy, windy and raining, and you just end up not going. You think, well, I can't film a video this week, like I'm not going all that way for nothing. So you'd end up having the time off and working on the house instead, which is where I'm up to. Yeah, same with pop-ups, Ian, yeah, absolutely. And they push you into it as well, don't they, the tackle firms, like, you know, they'll have people saying, oh, well, you've got to have these pop-ups and you need them in 10 mil and you need them in 14 mil and you need them in 16s, and then you want them in white and you want them in red and you want them in orange, and then they turn around and say, well, you want pop-ups and wafters and you want them all in the same combinations, and then they turn around and say, oh, you need barrels as well, so you want them in barrels as pop-ups and barrels as wafters in all these different colours and all these different sizes, and before you know it, you've got a couple of £100 worth of pop-ups. You end up with tubs and tubs and tubs of them at about what, £6 a tub, I think they are now, something like that, £6 or £7. You just end up with loads of them, and yeah, I try to limit mine as much as I can, like, just, you know, I've got some white ones and some red ones and, you know, different combinations, but I try to buy as little as possible if I can, and some natural ones that look like me hook baits as well. You can't win. German rig, fake corn and a maggot. Yeah, that sounds about right, not even on a boilie. The last fish I caught was on 2 grains of fake corn in a PVA bag with some pellets, piece of pop-up corn, piece of sinking corn, so it balanced out, and a short hook length about 4 inches and a PVA bag full of pellets, and that caught me my last fish. Not a boilie in sight, mate, not in the pellets, in with the pellets or on the hook. And I sometimes think, well, you've heard me on the live streams before, like saying stay away from boilies, they're bad news. And yeah, I still agree with that, I still think it's right, and I try to use alternative hook baits wherever I can. Still got a few sticks of pepperami in the fridge as well, like left over. That's something I always take with me. Usually if I remember when I go in the fridge to get me milk when I'm going fishing, I always grab a couple of sticks of pepperami while I'm there. $1,000 to $100,000. Well, for the fishing lure, Leroy, I haven't seen anything that expensive. The most expensive lure I've ever bought was £24 for one lure, £24. I think I've got one that cost 15 as well, but the rest have all been under a tenner. I don't tend to spend that much on them. The one that cost £24, I can't even remember what the lure's called. It was a big pike lure. It's a very well known one as well, but I can't remember the name of it. It's not a bulldog. Something similar. No, it's gone. It hasn't seen the light of day in a couple of years, because I've spent the last 3 years, I think, perch fishing, and I'm quite happy with the small lures, fishing for perch rather than going after pike. I tend to catch more pike than perch anyway, so even on the small lures you still pick them up, but I have got some decent pike lures, and £24's the most expensive. I'd hate to lose that. I've got to say, I wouldn't be very happy if I lost that lure, but I take it is that £1,000 to £100,000, or a pound to a tenner? Because there's an awful lot of noughts in there, mate. answer. A giant Haskell minnow. Is it made of gold or something? Is that why it's so expensive? Has it got gold trim all over it or something? I don't think I've ever seen anything that expensive, mate. I might have a look on the other PC. I've got the other PC here in front of me, like, so I might have a look. Google a Haskell minnow. Because I've never heard of anything that expensive. Yeah, Ian, hemp, corn and pellets. I think that's the best way to go, mate. Everybody feeds all that kind of stuff anyway. And usually fish is boily over the top, and it's all boily, boily, boily. They'll use all those different baits that you're using and then go and chuck the same thing over the top again and again and again. And I think if you're fishing over hemp, corn and pellets, then the hemp, corn and pellets on the hook or maggots will get you more bites. Let's have a look at this Haskell minnow. Haskell minnow. Giant Haskell minnow sold for $100,000. Oh dear. I'm guessing that is it's got to be some kind of collector's item, hasn't it, Leroy, from a long time ago. I'm guessing it's, you know, one of the earliest fishing laws in existence or something like that, and it's a collector's item, which is why someone's paid so much for it. I can't see them selling them in a shop for £100,000 each or anything like that. I don't think they'd be worth it. Sold through public auction. Yeah, the reason it was bought for so much money, let's see, gotta be a collector's item. Yeah, it even looks old. It's stacked on a piece of wood that looks like it's about 200 years old. Or it belonged to someone famous, like the president or something like that. Quite rare, sold at auction by Langs of New York, which is a sort of Sotheby's fishing collectibles. Yeah, it's yeah, from the mid 19th century. Yeah, so basically, mate, it's not really well, it is a fishing lore in it, but it's been bought by an antique collector, by the look of it. So yeah, it's not I wouldn't even call it a real fishing lore these days. Just a collector's item, like sold at auction. So yeah, I think I'll just stick with the little copy 2 shad, which are like, you know, £1.50 or £2 for 3 of them, 50p each. That'll do. I think anything more than a tenner is too much for a lure. I've got a few pike lures that cost around the £10 mark. Savage Gear stuff mainly, but I certainly don't like paying a lot for them. Like, I've only ever bought one lure that was 24 quid. I've not bought anything else close to that. Yeah, Ian, put the boilie away, mate. I wouldn't even say for now. I'd just say put the boilie away, full stop. That's what I've done. You know, I've got some. I've still got some Scopex squid, which is the bait I've been using for the last 7 or 8 years. And I got some, whatchamacallit, some DNA S7, which I've been using. I've barely used any of it, to be honest. In fact, most of it's still in its bag. I've got 10 kilos. which I bought in around about April last year, April, May time last year, and I've virtually still got all of it. And most of my fish this year have come on pepperami or tiger nuts or chickpeas. That's pretty much what I've used. Like, I've got bags and bags of particles, and I decided I'm not buying anything else until I've used them up. So I'm trying to use them up as best I can, and I'll get through them all eventually. Like, I've still got about 10 kilo of groats to use up. I've got a few other bags here which are full, 15 kilos of ground bait, roughly 30 kilos of pellet that, dotted around on the floor behind me here. And what else? Yeah, that's about it. So I've got, like, there must be 50 kilos of bait here that I can use up just sitting in this room. So I don't need to buy anything else. I'm going to do with me bait what I did with me lures and say no more until I've used what I've got, and I've run out. And then once I've run out, I'll start buying some more. But yeah, at the moment I'm overflowing with it. I don't really want to buy any more. I want to get my video made first as well, like, because it's a bait video. Well, ground bait to be exact, and it's actually going to be more than one video. It's going to be one on the ground bait, and then one on method fishing, feeder fishing. So I'll get a couple of videos out of what I've got, and then once that's gone and I've used it all up, I'll start on what particles I've got and what pellets I've got and stuff like that. Fancy spending the year actually fishing with pellets, because I seem to do quite well on them. Just use them as you would a boilie, like, a couple of pouchfuls over where you're fishing and a pellet over the top, and quite often they'll come in and take the bait. Evening, Mr. Tyler. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I was running a bit late today. I had a bit of an issue with the camera feed, shall we say, and I think I was about 15-20 minutes late, something like that. So I've only been going for half an hour. But yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself? I hope you're all right. Are you fishing, Mr. Tyler, or are you, you're like me and Gary B, just work and work and work. Yeah, there's a bit of a challenge for you there, actually, Ian. Fish a year with no boilies and see how you get on. The S7 20 kilos deal. Got them 5 kilos of 8mm. Yeah, I've got 8 and 10s is what mine were. I got ready-mades, so they come in like 5 kilo bags. I've got 5 kilos of 8mm and 5 kilos of 12, I think it is, or 10. I think it's 10. And a couple of tubs of them 12mm pop-ups, Secret 7 corker pop-ups. They're alright because you can balance them with a little number 6 shot on a hook, and they'll sink, slow sink. So you stick them on a hair rig, 12mm, and then add a little size 6 shot underneath the boilie on the hair. It'll sink like a boy at a wafter, and they work pretty well. I do my scope X squid like that, little shot on the hair underneath. But that's a full tub. I've got another tub with me fishing gear that's I've started using. I actually bought 2 of these, but they work all right. I've been pleasantly surprised by DNA, Ian. They've done quite well on them. Like, I'm good, mate. I work all week and try my hardest to get out over the weekend when I'm off. Done a lot on the canal the past few weeks after pike and perch. Biggest £9, not bad. A £9 pike out the canal is actually quite a decent one. Yeah, pike setup. Go on sale. Nice pike coming out to £20. Yeah, there's some decent fish in there, isn't there? Sale, like, it seems to have big fish of every kind. Carp, catfish, pike. It's obviously not a bad water at all. I put a poll on. I think you've all answered it, haven't you? I know, Ian, you have, because we've spoken about it. What are you doing in December? Are you fishing right through for carp? Swap to lure fishing, predator fishing, or called it predator fishing because obviously some people use dead baits as well. Or are you taking a break? And I didn't just post that poll on my community tab, I posted it in the Northwest and Cheshire Angling Facebook group as well, and asked a question there too, and I got quite a surprise at the response, like the amount of people who are still fishing for carp through November. And one of the lads actually put on there, says more than half the people here are still fishing for carp, but I'm not seeing them. Where are they? Because there's hardly anyone around. So I don't know what to make of that. Like, I guess some people are still furloughed. They must be still furloughed. So it does seem to be that it's quite busy. Yeah. That was someone asking to join the Northwestern Cheshire group. That's what the pinging noise was. Me phone going off. I'll let him in when this live stream's finished. Found that dead baits are best for bigger fish on the canal. Yeah, just getting past all the jacks. Absolutely. Dead baits will always get you bigger fish than lure fishing, mate. But I like the lures. I'd rather be active and walking up and down and casting out rather than just sitting there. I do enough of that when I'm carp fishing, sitting behind motionless rods. And I don't like the smell of the dead baits either. You take your dead baits with you and you stick them in the cool box to keep them frozen, but they get everywhere. The smell gets everywhere. It gets on your hands, gets on your clothes, gets on your car and the upholstery, and it's awful. So I don't actually do much dead baiting at all. Like, it's been a long time since I caught a pike on a dead bait. Mainly I prefer lures nowadays because you can just put them back in the box and they don't smell. So it's a lot easier. But yeah, the dead baits will always catch you more fish. And the milky malts as well. Louis fishing, evening mate, good to see you. I've not used a milky malt, Ian. All I got was the S7 and that's it, nothing else. I spoke to Andy about it because he's on DNA as well, and there was another one he recommended, but I can't remember what it was called. I think it was a nut-based bait. SLK, is it? Something like that. £50 a year, is that for sale? SWP. Is that how much it is? 50 quid? It's not bad, is it? Just say yes if it's sale, mate, because I'm not sure. Yeah, £50 a year is not bad at all. That reminds you. Yeah, thanks, Ian. You've just reminded me. I've got to send one of my cards off. They're all due in January, aren't they? I've got a couple already paid up. There you go. There's one of them. There's another one inside, like for a different club. But I've still got to pay a couple of others as well. Like, and you've just reminded me there that I need to send a cheque and my old card off to get my card for next year. In fact, I need to write this down because I'll forget otherwise. When am I going to put it on here? Right, I've wrote it down so I don't forget, and I'll get a self-addressed. I'll get a stamp and a couple of envelopes so we can do a self-addressed envelope to send my card back and get next year's, because I just realised like it's mid-December already. So I've got two left to do. I've got two club cards and I've got 2 more to get, and I'm done. At least I can go fishing on New Year's Day anyway, because I've got my PA card there. So I probably won't be filming a video on New Year's Day. I'll just want to get out and sit behind my rods, but at least I can do that. Maybe meet some of the newbies. So yes, I usually use the law rod on the move, as you can cover a lot more water with the law rods, but was struggling to get anything over £4. Yeah, so I thought I'd try the dead baits and it's paid off. Yeah, it will do. Deads will always catch more fish. Big fish seem to be more lazy. They don't want to chase like the jacks do. The jacks will chase anything, mate, but the bigger they get, the less inclined they are to chase a lure. I know one of my mates has done quite well recently on the canal, on over your way. He's had quite a few out again. I think he's had a double or 2, but he's done okay. Like, but the last couple of times he's been out, he's had nothing, and they seem to have gone to ground again. Just a case of finding them and working out where they are, isn't it? But he's been catching on deads as well. Yeah, SWP, 50 quid a year. I didn't realise it was that cheap. I thought it was more than that. Not a bad price that for a ticket, is it? 50 quid a year. There's not many around. It's that price now. You look at the price of like PA and Lim, or the clubs like that. Like they're all well over 100 quid. I think PA's 130. Limbs are even more than that, isn't it? 150, 160, something like that. My Warrington card's 50 quid because I don't have a night permit. I don't fish nights, so there's no point in paying for one, so I just get the card itself, like, and it's 50 quid a year, which is great for the waters that they've got. Like, it's a good deal. But you don't get many cards that cheap. Most are quite expensive. I'll have to do a video, the best clubs in Cheshire to go fishing in. I think that might do quite well. I'm not sure some people would appreciate it though. Having a spotlight shined on them. Actually, this place is really good, but nobody wants to tell you. I think some people might have a fit. So maybe not. You've always got to keep something up your sleeve for yourself, haven't you? Is Andy back, by the way? Are you back, Andy? Ian, what's the SLK? Something... I might have to Google that as well, SLK. I think that was one that Andy recommended. Is it SLK, the DNA one you've got, Andy? Oh, put SLK into Google and it's come up with the Mercedes. Shrimp, liver and krill. I put SLK DNA. Shrimp, liver and krill. What's the nut-based one they've got, mate? That creamy coloured one that you had. The one that you showed me. S7 and SLK. They've not got a nutty one. Nutter. I don't know, maybe it was SLK you showed me, mate, I don't know. Last time me and you had a social up your way in winter, I think it was, I don't know, was it December last year or the year before? I know it was a while ago, like, but you showed me some SLK. It was when you had that fox cover on your bucket, because I think you sold that, didn't you? And you showed me some of the DNA baits, because it was before. I know it was before I bought them, because I bought mine in April, May time, didn't I? Earlier in the year. So it might have been last December, mate. I don't know. It was S7, but it had krill powder on it. Right, okay. I could have sworn they had a nut-based one or something like that, or a non-fish meal one. But shrimp, liver and krill doesn't sound like a non-fish meal bait to me. Not really, anyway. It sounds very fishy. I don't know. They seem like reasonable weights, Andy, anyway. I've certainly caught a few fish on them this year. I have used them on and off in between the particles, and when I've put them on, I have had fish on them, like nut and strawberry. Right, okay. Yeah, Ian's gone on to S7, mate. Ian McHale, he's just saying he's got S7, 8mm, which is conveniently funny because I got the same. I don't know how you'll get on with those 8mm S7s, Ian. I bought mine for bream fishing, believe it or not. I was toying with the idea in the spring of going on Reedsmere, because Reedsmere's got a good track record for big bream, you know, in the teens, 13, 14, 15 pound. And I fancied, you know, a big specimen bream, you know, in the teens, and 8mm S7 is what I bought. I thought I'll go with the small boilies and, you know, fish for whatever comes along. So, you know, you've got a chance at like a double figure tench, big bream or a carp, and whatever picks up the bait I'd be happy with, because it's such a difficult water. So I bought mine for bream fishing, mate. I hope you know that. S7 awesome all year round. Yeah, I seem to remember you had a good result on yours, Andy, before we had a social. You had about, was it a load of fish in the morning or afternoon from you know where. One of them was 18, wasn't it? 18 pound, which is probably one of the biggest fish in there. I remember that. God, that was a while ago, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm feeling like I need to get out again now. After 3 weeks off, I feel like I'm feeling the need to get a bend in my rod. I miss it. Well, I'll definitely be out at Christmas, even if I don't make it out on Saturday. Before we reach the next Saturday, I will have been out, because it'll be Christmas by then, and I will certainly head out on Boxing Day no matter what. Boxing Day I will be on the bank. I just hope it doesn't rain. Last thing I want is to spend 4 weeks off and then find out it's peeing down on the day I want to go fishing. There's nothing worse than sitting in the cold rain in winter. Sonic, is that Sonic Mation 49? Hello. I hope you're alright, mate. Are you a fisherman? I do hope so. This is the thing off the bottom of my camera. I took it off to stick it on a tripod, like, so I can fish. Hey up, Scobes. Long time no speak, mate. David Scobie angling. Welcome back, Dave. Nice to see you, mate. How's the fishing going? I saw a post on Facebook, mate, saying you're leaving that particular area you've been fishing alone. Time to move on. And how's the boat coming on? Because I see you've got a boat. A couple of my mates go to the place you're fishing, Dave. Is it the Shannon? Why have I got the Shannon in my mind? It's not the Shannon, is it? Gonna have to go back to Facebook. I've got the memory of a sieve these days, Dave. I can't remember anything. Literally, I am hopeless with my memory. Where are we? Oh, it's gone. Boats of slow progress. Let's get the fiberglass and stuff to floor it. Yeah. It should be good when you finish though, mate. If you can get a float, it's a lot better. I know one of my mates been over only a month ago, and I think he had at least 120 and plenty of good doubles, but they were in a boat with an echo sounder, and they were able to go out, you know, looking for bait fish and looking for fish, and they'd been before as well, so they knew where to look, so they did okay. Not as good as in previous years, but all right. So there's definitely, you know, the right size fish for you in there, Dave. It's just a case of if you're mobile and you know you've got an engine and a boat, you've got a much better chance of finding them and getting to the inaccessible spots where they tend to live. So it'd be interesting to see how you get on with that boat, mate. Probably best do it sooner rather than later, really. Although, I don't know, you seem to catch a fair few fish from the bank, mate, which is good. Milky Malt pop-ups I use a lot, and pineapple and banana. I think it was the Milky Malt pop-ups, Andy, that you showed me, because they were light in colour and creamy, and I'm pretty sure they were Milky Malts. Yeah, it should make getting out and about easier, and it means I'll be away from dog walkers letting the dogs crap everywhere. He's right, mate. And that's what you want, really, isn't it? You don't want to be anywhere near them if you can help it. They're a pain in the arse. We get them round some of our waters, mate, and they're a pest. I had one a few years ago. I was fishing in a country park, a lake in a country park in Cheshire, where there's so many of them. They turn up, they park in the car park, and they walk the dogs round this park and round the lake, and you can guarantee everybody with a dog has got a stick to throw in the water, and they're lobbing the stick in, like, and the dog's going in after it all the time, and they'll lob it in front of your rods on purpose, so that the dog will run in the water in front of your rods while you're fishing. And I had one fella. He had a Rottweiler, 14 stone Rottweiler. You should have seen the size of it. Now, I was down the bottom of this steep bank, so the bank's like this. I'm down the bottom at water level, and there's a hill, and he was throwing the stick into the water from the top of the hill, and a dog would come bounding down and then launch itself off and skadoosh into the water. 14 stone. Literally, it sounded like someone was throwing a pig in. And the mess he made. And then the dog would get out and get the stick up at the top of the bank, and he'd throw it straight back again. And he was doing this for ages. And why he was doing it, after about 15 minutes of doing it, one of my rods rattled off. And I landed the carp. Because the carp in the lake are so used to dogs. I mean, literally, they'll swim between their legs in the margins. You know, when the dog's charging up and down, like, they'll swim around the dog. And they don't care about them. They're so used to them. So he must have thought he was annoying me. He was annoying me, really. Like, I was getting quite het up. But when my rod went off and I caught the fish, I thought, do you know what? I'm never going to let a dog walker wind me up again. And I haven't since then. Like, I don't bother with them anymore. Because they don't actually make that much of a difference, mate. The worst thing they can do, really, is they crap everywhere and you're treading it. Or occasionally you might get one that seems to think it can mark its territory on your brolly or your bag, something like that. Try and piss on your bag. I had one do that once, like, and it got me foot. It yelped as it ran off, because it was trying to piss on me rucksack, and I wasn't having that. So the dog walker didn't say anything. I just looked at him and gave him one of those stares that says, "I'm going to hit you if you open your mouth." And he looked at me sheepishly and put his head down and walked off. So yeah, I'm not keen on dog walkers or their mutts, but I certainly don't let them worry about spooking fish anymore or anything like that, because if there's a lot of them around the water, the fish just get used to them, and they don't bat an eyelid. But yeah, they are a pest, mate. I've got every sympathy with you. The ones that let the dogs crap everywhere, can't be dealing with. Slingshot and ball bearings. Yeah, I don't mind them letting the dog crap as long as they've got it, you know, like they stick the bag over their hand, pick it up, and, you know, and stick it in a doggy bag and throw it in the bin. I don't mind them, you know, if they do that, that's okay. But the ones who let them crap everywhere, I know one lad, and you might want to try this, Dave. He does like bacon and sausage in his frying pan, and he heats up the fat that's left over when he's, you know, because you do a bit of cooking when you're on the bank as well, don't you? With the bacon and sausage in that, like, you'd always got the frying pan out. Whatever's in the frying pan, the fat that's left over, he'll drizzle it. He'll heat it up and drizzle it over the nearest dog turd. Because they get ill, don't they? Is it something they can't eat? Dog turd. Dogs can't eat dog turd, or they shouldn't. And he drizzles the fat over the dog turds, and then, you know, the owner will see them, like, and it'll be the dog will be straight on it, like, because it's the fat off the bacon. The dog will be straight on it, and the owners are horrified. So you might want to try that one, Dave. Just drizzle it, heat it up, like, so it's runny, and then just drizzle it over the turd, and then leave them there. I reckon you might like that one. Just sit back and watch the fun and games when the owner realises the dog's eating a turd. Have you tried that one, mate, already, or is that just a good idea? Might have the desired effect, mate, to make them keep them on the lead and clean up after them. If the dogs are eating what they're dropping. Injecting old dead baits with liquid laxative and let the dog eat it, so when it goes home there's an explosion. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, plenty of them on sale. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. I've seen a couple of Chris's videos on sale, and he's having battles with the dog walkers. You know, screaming Delkins. He had he was not friendly with the dog walkers, and the dog walkers weren't friendly with him. So yeah, I can imagine that. But yeah, there is little things you can do, like, you know, if they dump it on the floor, make them eat it. It's quite a simple one, isn't it? But apparently it works really well. And the dog owners will have a hissy fit, or I think the dogs can get ill as well. Which I suppose not really very nice, like, but all's fair in love and war, I suppose, isn't it? Right, where are we? 1 hour. Just coming up to the 1 hour mark. These lives now, Dave, Scobie, they're only an hour long. I have brought them back, like, but they're generally 8 till 9 now rather than 8 till 10 like they used to be on the old channel. I've kept them off the old channel because it kept losing subscribers. So the old channel's still climbing nicely. I'm not losing any, and I can still do the lives on here for those who like them. So it's worked out quite well. And if this channel ever reaches 1,000 subscribers, I'll be quite happy. I don't expect it will, like, but you never can tell. That's why I put them on here, Dave. I think we're on number 7 now. I've been back for 7 weeks, and but they're really quiet compared to the other channel. Like, there's nowhere near as many of the regulars here as there was. Like, there's Ian and Mr. Tyler and a few of the others, but not very many of the old school who were on the old live streams years ago. I've deleted all them, got rid of them. Deleted them off the channel completely, like. So they're all gone. But I'll keep them here. Yeah, keep them on a separate page. Like, I mean, I've had this page for ages, but I just haven't used it because, you know, you tend to put all your resources into one, don't you, to try and build it up. And then I was just thinking, like, oh, well, maybe I could use it for live streams. That's a good idea, because I got some software and a video capture card. So I'm not using this. You know, you remember what it was like last time, Dave, with the webcam and that horrible tinny sound. Like, I've got a proper studio microphone now, and we're in HD. So everything's a lot better. I'm actually using the video camera that I film me videos with. So the quality's a little bit better as well, like, and the sound out of the microphone's a lot better than that tinny one. There's no flickering picture anymore because this camera's not so bad. Crink crink. I caught a blue whale yesterday using my fly fishing pole. Of course you did. Was it this big? Yeah, it is. It's much better quality, Dave, and I'm quite happy with it. I just had a bit of an issue with it tonight. I'm using something called OBS Studio, which is live streaming software that gamers use. So as you can see, I've got my little logo in the bottom corner down here, and I can actually stick some text on it like that. I can go onto my hard drive as well and put pictures up as well. Gary B, cheers mate. I'll see you next week. Sorry I was late on today, but it was just one of those things with the software update 5 minutes before it was going live. But cheers mate, I'll catch you soon. Joel Crosby, fishing on the weekend. I hope so mate. We'll have to wait and see. At the moment I can't think of anything that would stop me from going. I've been doing a lot of odd jobs around the house lately and stuff like that, because it's December and it's cold. I'm quite happy to crack on with the jobs around the house. I have got one I need to do. I've got to fit new taps in the kitchen. I'll try and get them done on Saturday morning. If I can get them done early enough, I'll go fishing on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed mate, I'll make it out this weekend. If not, then I definitely will next week. Sefton Park, no mate, I've not fished Sefton. I've fished Walton Hall in the past, and what's that posh one? Calderstones. I've been to Calderstones once or twice as well in the past, but I've not fished one of the Liverpool Park lakes in 20 years, mate. It's a ball lake to get to because I'm based in Wirral, and I have to pay tunnel money every time I go through the tunnel. It's like £1.70 an hour pop, so I'm like £3.5–4 out of pocket every time I go to Liverpool, because I've got to pay the tunnel fare there and the tunnel fare back, and it's like a tax. And if I go to Cheshire or North Wales, I don't need to pay it. They're only 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away by car, and I don't need to pay the tunnel money. So I've not fished in Liverpool, mate, for 20 years. Bald Eagle, evening mate. Good to see you here. A bit of a newbie. Fish on your pickers out of Sefton. I tell you what mate, I've got my glasses on and I'm looking at a small screen over there, but that looks quite a chunky fish. Evening mate. Got my new rods finally, so I'll be out more. Fox Warriors. They're not bad, those Fox Warriors. I've looked at them myself. I wanted some 10 footers, and while I was in the shop looking at 10 footers, I saw some Fox Warriors as well, 12 foot, and I picked one of them up just to see what it was like, and actually it was really nice. There's no need to spend a fortune on rods. The Warriors are actually quite nifty. I quite like them. I didn't get the 10-foot rods either. I decided against them in the end. Thought they'd be too small. Fishing rods are supposed to be bigger, not smaller. Oh. Yeah, well, we've got a few on now. All of a sudden my viewers have jumped. Yeah, Sefton Park. Smashed it over lockdown, plenty of carp to 20, a couple of cats, jack pike, here we go, I might join you. Is it that good? I didn't think there was that much in Sefton Park, to be honest. And catfish as well, where have they come from? Mind you, I know what those Liverpool Park lakes were like 20 years ago. It was always musical carp and musical fish, and the lads were stocking the lakes all the time. The fish were going in. He'd get people who, they'd take them out the canal out of anywhere they could and stick them in the local lake. So there's a decent head of fish in there for everybody to fish for. I'm guessing it's still the same. chub out cast 10 foot. Yeah, that sounds alright. Just the 10 foot rods, Mr. T, you know, I mean, we discussed on the old live streams 10 foot rods, and I was going to get him, I wasn't, and I can't justify him, mate. I think it's better with a 12 foot rod. I mean, we're all used to 12 foot rods. I fish a lot of waters where quite often you need to fish at range, so I'm reluctant to go smaller, very reluctant. So I've not bought any. I wouldn't mind, you can pick up some good ones for about 50 quid each, 40, 50 quid each, like, but I keep saying no, don't go there. Yeah, been restored and stocked. Passport fish, yeah. That's how I remember it, and it's always been like that. The lads, you know, I mean, fair play to them. Like, the lads want a decent fishing. You know, you don't want just one or two fish in there, do you? It's got to be a decent head of fish, and you know, you can get a few bites and stuff like that. So I can't say I blame them, because the council are never going to do much with it. 2 carp rods and 1 pike. A grassy, isn't there? Right, okay. They have got a bit of a mixed bag, haven't they? Grassy out at 23. Not a bad fish for the Park Lake in Liverpool, that. I remember when I fished Walton Hall in 2000, it was literally 20 years ago this year. I couldn't believe the stock of fish in there. You know, I had some crackers out. Biggest was 27.4 or something like that, off the Cafe Bank. I had another 20 to back it up as well. I didn't fish there for long, like I was only fishing there a few months. I had a few 20s and a few nice other fish as well, like some good backup doubles. Yeah, they always seem to suffer with water quality as well, don't they? All the time. Even 20 years ago, there was fish kills on, like, the little lake at Walton was one, and the big lake was always pea green in summer. So I don't know. I think they need some proper management, but they're never going to get it off the council, are they? It's a shame, that. But the lads will look after the place and make sure it's always got fishing. Last weekend on the Cafe Bank, yeah, that's where I used to fish. If I could get on it, which wasn't very often, because it was always quite busy. And we used to take a pair of chesties with me, so you know, you'd be like waders on up to there, and you could just about, you get about 4 inches from the top of your waders, but it would never go over. And we actually used to wade our baits out and poke them under the trees on the far bank. You could literally just wade up to the trees, and then you get your rod under the water, right under as far as it would go, and then just let go of the lead so it drops on the deck, and then walk it back. And that's how we caught our fish, just poking them actually under the trees rather than next to them, because they used to hide under them trees a lot. All local lads in the park, yeah. Yeah, they're a good bunch of lads as well when I used to fish there. I don't know if any of them are still around now. Is Eric still around? I remember a guy called Eric. He used to catch an awful lot of fish, but he's I don't think I ever saw him sober. He was always bladdered. And Rod Pod Andy with his homemade rod pod. In summer there was a fish kill. Omni. I was in Omni Waders and saved some of the biggest fish, meant to be 30 or something. Yeah, those. I think one of them did do 30 at one time. Like I had a 27.4, and I believe the same fish made £30 4 ounces, but I don't think it was ever seen again. I don't really know what's in there today, but I know when I fished it, there was about 14 or 15 fish around the £20 mark. Right, okay, bald eagle. Yeah, I've been subbed for a while. They used to be on my old channel, or not my old channel, like my main channel, Mark Carp. But I put them on here now, like they're out of the way, and I'm quite happy to keep them on here. Be a job to get all the old boys back who were on there before, though. Most of them don't know about this channel, I don't think. Mainly Sprinkle, evening. What was the best fish you ever caught? Well, that's best. I mean, biggest was 39.5 pound, a common carp, which is like, it actually hurt me back picking it up. It was so heavy. It's a hell of a size, you know, about 4 foot long, and it had the back on it like a dog. It was so big, which for a carp like is a decent size in the UK anyway. You get a lot of fish over that size these days, but not back when I caught mine. That's probably my best fish. Emails, some pics. Sevy. Holsneed Park. I've never fished that one. Yeah. One water and never fished Holsneed. Just too far away from me, mate. Being Wirral based, like you don't want to travel too far if you can help it. And again, I'd have to go through the tunnel to get to Holsneed, and it cripples you, the tunnel fees. Not on social media. That's a refreshing change. Single baits on 2 rods. I'd go with anything, mate. Hook bait wise, I'm quite happy to use anything. It's one bait in it, one bait, one chance. All you got to do is stick it where the fish are. I don't think it really matters what it is. Bright white, pink, whatever. Single hook baits like CC Moores, Northern Specials or something like that. Big bright one. Or just a normal hook bait that you'd use straight out of your bag. Singles are brilliant if you can get them in the right place. Find the fish first. If you can get on the fish and chuck a bait in front of them, you know, providing you don't spook them putting the bait in, then the chances are you get a pick up and you'll get one pretty quickly, because they're very curious carp. They'll investigate anything new that they find in that area, and you usually get a pick up quite quick. Goes even for pressured fish. That I used to fish Cape Storm all years ago, like, and most of my fish came within 1 hour of casting in. I think I worked it out. I used to keep stats and all sorts, you know, like what time I caught the fish and stuff like that. And I think 80% of my fish that I caught out of Cape Storm all, and I caught quite a few out of there. I had most of the stock came within an hour of casting in. So yeah, you've got to find them. You stick a bait in front of the fish and they'll have it. Yellow, white, red, no colour at all, natural, whatever your boilies are. I've got Scopex squid and S7, and I'd be quite happy fishing either of them as a single. Not giving too much away. Green banks. Yeah, any single hook bait will do if it's in the right place. You wouldn't think so, would you? Judging by the tackle companies and the bait companies that always pushing their own bait and stuff like that. It's mad. Green banks is all right. Hiya, Patrick. No, I've fished down south a few times, mate. But only on the main, like day ticket waters. So I've fished linear fisheries in the past. You can't argue with what's in there. You go fishing there like you're going to be fishing for decent sized fish, but it's hammered. There's no room to move, and there's loads of people on there. And if you turn your back on your gear, you're likely to find it's gone. These days, back when I fished it wasn't so bad, but nowadays it's very, very busy lakes. But the fish you've got in there is awesome. So linear fisheries is probably the best one, mate. I've also fished Sandhurst, and Sandhurst is good as well. I'd probably rate that better actually, because you're behind lock gates on Sandhurst. You book your peg and you get given a code and you can go through the gate and lock it behind you. So it's not the free for all that linear fisheries is. It's all fenced, so it's not so bad. I fished Farlows once or twice. Didn't particularly like that place, too close to the motorway for my liking. Orchid is a lovely place. Orchid Lakes in Oxfordshire. They're about the only ones I've been to down south, to be honest. I've not been to any others. Like I said, they're all like main day ticket waters, but they cost you a lot to fish on. That's the only problem. If you're looking for somewhere nearby down where you are, just use Google, mate. Find the lakes with the decent fishing if you can, and try and get on some waiting lists or join some clubs. Would be my advice. That's generally what we do up here. I don't really fish day ticket waters these days myself, because they cost too much. You're better off just getting a ticket for a year, pay 50 or 100 quid up front, and fish for 12 months rather than pay 30 odd quid for 24 hours. I can't believe the price of fishing these days. It's shocking. So yeah, Patrick, linear and Sandhurst are the two I'd recommend, mate. Both got some cracking fishing. Time is it? Ooh, crikey, it's 20 to 10. Yeah, I think we've had enough of the ticket, haven't we? It says check out the Carp YouTube channel, which is my main channel. You'll find a link to it somewhere if you look at this one. For some, I should probably make that scroll faster, shouldn't I? Check out the Carp YouTube channel for some great fishing tips. Yeah, I'll have a look at speeding that up. Carp fishing, lure fishing and barbel fishing. There you go. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this OBS studio. Like I can actually I've got a hard drive full of photos and I can transfer the photos in so you can look at them. So when I start fishing again, and I start taking some pictures, and maybe catching a few fish if I'm lucky. If I come on a live stream after I've been fishing on a Saturday and I say, yeah, I've had one this weekend, like I can pop it up on the screen in the live stream, and hopefully it'll be all right. I'm actually trying to I'm thinking of getting what they call a green screen. I don't know whether any of you have heard of a green screen, but it's a piece of green that goes behind you, and you can kind of like rub out the background with it. You can use it because it's green. You can set the camera to not pick up green, so it takes the background off and just leaves you with no background, and then I can overlay it over a photograph or something like that, so you see me talking, but instead of the background being the wall behind me, it's a picture. But I haven't worked out how to do it yet. I'll get round to it eventually, but it means putting green up behind me, and I'm not sure I'm going to do that, to be honest. Maybe I'll just leave it as it is, like it's not so bad, is it? A couple of fishing rods behind me. Don't wear a green top. No. Yeah, I'll disappear. The only thing you get then is me head. But yeah, the gamers use it, so they'll just like, you'll see a little picture of them in the bottom corner if you've ever watched a live streaming gamer, and they'll be talking and commentating while they're doing stuff, but you're actually watching the game that they're playing. It's mad, and I can do that for me fishing live stream and show you pictures of me fish instead. But it takes a bit of planning, and I never seem to have enough time. Like, I mean, I only got my camera out at 10 to 8 this evening to go live at 8 o'clock. Thought, oh, I better set it up quick, and I've got no real time to plan them. Tips are good. I've brought army wet clothing. Saves a lot of big companies. Yeah, it does, mate. Absolutely. You bought the army surplus stuff. The whatchamacallit, the trousers, Gore-Tex over trousers are absolutely fantastic. They save you in the rain, and in winter at this time, when it's damp and it's cold, like you get a little bit of drizzle while you're out fishing. Those trousers, they stop you getting wet, and they're absolutely fantastic. I think I paid 15 quid for mine from an army surplus store, and they were brand new. I've had them for years. They're always in my bag. They're so light, and you just fold them up as small as they'll go and stuff them in the bottom of your bag, and they're brilliant, the army surplus stuff. And the whatchamacallit, the poncho as well, keeps you dry. You just throw it over your head and stick your head through the thing, the hood, and the water just rolls off it. You still need warm clothes underneath, or maybe base layer if you've got the base layer clothing. I did a video on that recently as well. That works quite well. Base layer keeps you warm, and if you can keep yourself warm and dry, then you're laughing on the bank in winter like it's really good. Let's go back to just logo. There we go. Don't want to see the ticker no more. Merino wool. Yeah, well, I did a video, mate, on merino wool versus synthetics, because I went for the synthetic. I think if you're fishing long, big long sessions, then merino wool's definitely better. But for shorter trips like I do, I found the synthetic to be really good. You'd end up more sweaty in it, but you're only wearing it for the day, so you don't need to worry about it. It's in the wash when you get home, so it works quite well. Yeah, cheers, Joel. I'm gonna go myself, mate. I've already been here, what, an hour and a half, something like that. Just touched an hour and a half, which is half an hour longer than usual. It's 9:45. Usually they're 8 till 9 and I wrap up at 9. But technical problems today, like, so I'm still here. But yeah, I better get myself off myself, mate. So cheers, Joel and Bald Eagle. John Murphy, have I ever fished in Ireland? Just seen you there come in. No, mate, I haven't. Never actually been to Ireland. A few of my mates have. They go over regularly fishing for pike and stuff like that, but I've never joined them. More of a carp angler, and Ireland's not really well known for its carp. Yeah, cheers, Mr. T. Yeah, cheers, Bald Eagle. Oh, it's Wednesday, mate. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Yeah, Mr. Tyler, Bald Eagle, Joel, John Murphy, Scobie, Dave, if you're still here, Andy Clark. There's been a few others here tonight as well. Sorry if I forget you. I do apologise. Try and name check you all, but it's quite difficult because yeah, I just haven't got the mental capacity to remember everything. But cheers, guys. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream, and I'll see you all next week. There's a thumbs up, and take care of yourselves, and good luck if you're out fishing. Ian McHale as well. Cheers, Ian, and Gary B. Take it easy, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.